boost some injuries because we've got some more woes, AJ.
Oh.
Obviously, we had Axel and Burgess in this game, but then we Kieran McKenna let everyone know that Sonny Smodix, Connor Chaplin have had some setbacks, my friends. Not good.
No, not good at all. I'm just going to try and see if we've got the full list of them here because there are just so many knocks and injuries at the moment. I've got the whole list. So they've got the 2 from the game. They'll have to be assessed in the coming days as to what's going to happen with Cameron Burgess and Axel Tuanzebe. Don't want to kind of like put one on a higher pedestal than the other, but obviously Axel's played more minutes and, to be perfectly honest, is a more important part of kind of the starting lineup in Ipswich at the moment. So if it is going to be a bad hamstring injury that's going to kind of potentially end his season here, that's going to be hugely disappointing. And we're going to need to see other players step up to fill that void a bit. And then setbacks for Chaplin and Smodix, as we've said. Yeah, hugely disappointing, this one. Smodix came back for that Coventry game, rocked his ankle in that one. And yeah, the approach to it's been a little bit bizarre from my perspective. I had that kind of late cameo at United where it was very clear at Old Trafford that if he was fit, he probably would have started that game, to be honest. And him coming on for that kind of 5-6 minutes of stoppage time, yeah, a little bit weird. And now he's had that setback, so we'll have to assess again where he's at, how long that timescale is going to be. And then Connor Chaplin as well, not seen in 2025. Constantly felt like, Chaplin's a week away, and we'd go back the next week and be, he's maybe like a week or 2 away. He's out and working with the physios, and I think he's had maybe 1 or 2 setbacks now. And that's hugely disappointing for him. He's, I think, a player that maybe some people don't appreciate how important he is to the Ipswich side. So having him out and Smodix, very similar profiles, on top of Christian Walton with a groin injury, Calvin Phillips with a calf injury, Amari Hutchinson with a knee injury, Wes Burns with a knee injury, Chiok Bene with an Achilles injury, and Julio Enciso with a knee injury. 2 of those at least won't feature again this season, full stop. It's just so heavy at the moment, isn't it? And the attacking depth is drying up, and now a couple of defensive injuries in there as well. The midfield area is looking really light. It's a pretty big problem for Ipswich.
Yeah, it's a big concern. And why do you think we're getting so many injuries? I think we're just how we train and just how we play. I don't know. Obviously, the physicality of the Premier League is a whole different level to the Championship, and obviously every team's get injury, but we're up there, aren't they? I think there was a stat out there. We're one of the most players we've had injured this year in terms of minutes and stuff like that, which is unfortunate. It happens, but yeah, we're getting a lot of injuries.
Yeah, I think it's it is probably down to a few different things. Luck is the obvious one. They've just been unfortunate with it is a big part. It's the way they play, I think, is part of it. You look at kind of their off-the-ball work, their sprints, their running numbers, and I think Ange Postecoglou highlighted this. It's Ipswich and Tottenham at the top, and look at Tottenham's injury problems there. I think that probably speaks volumes as to if you take this approach, these kind of muscle injuries are much more common than teams who have a slightly different approach. So I think that's part of it. And the other one's training as well. And it's about getting a lot of players from League One level and Championship level up to Premier League speed. And you're not doing that over an extended period of time. You're doing that over a few weeks. And getting them up to that level of training, that level of intensity to go and play in these games means that you're going to be more kind of prone to it. They're not these top level athletes who are used to this training and this level of match intensity week in, week out. A Connor Chaplin, for example, who's got this injury now, has never played at this kind of intensity before in his career. Wes Burns, same situation. Amari, even think about it, last season was his first senior loan in football. He'd hardly kicked a ball in men's football before then. And you can go on and look through that list. So I think it's a combination of those kind of 3 things, and different players have different things. You take the Ogbene one, it's just sheer bad luck, for example. Maybe Wes he'd probably put in that same situation as well. Maybe Julio Enciso, and there'll be others like Chaplin and maybe like Smodix and Hutchinson, who it could just be a case of, well, Hutchinson was a nasty tackle, wasn't it? But yeah, for some of them, it's just going to be getting used to this level, and it's going to be more natural. It's just part and parcel of having to make such a significant step up. And we talk about getting used to the level in terms of the performances, but you can't ignore the whole fitness side of things as well.
Yeah, and hopefully they're back sooner rather than later. But obviously, a lot of them are out for the season, or may not see them, until later on in the running and all that jazz. And yeah,